Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Patriots around the world. I am the Fortunate Patriot, and this is Redwire Radio. Here at Redwire Radio, we are on a mission to share the truth with positively charged news, music, and media. These deep, dark dives that many of us delve into can tend to darken our lives. Our hope is to shine a little light on our world and leave it a little brighter. We believe in compassion, not only for your fellow Patriots, but for those who have not yet awoken to the truth. Those that resist, obstruct, deny, and push false narratives need our love and our prayers. We believe in justice, not violence. Violence, hate, vulgarity, and targeting of those participating will not be promoted or tolerated. Here at Redwire Radio, all things stop for new Q posts. You will be alerted by the Q cowbell. All the opinions and commentary here on Redwire Radio are ours individually and do not reflect those of the channel or anyone affiliated with it. Positive participation is welcomed and encouraged. Well, hello everyone out there. I am joined today by 5 other awesome Patriots, and I'm going to get them set up where they can introduce themselves to you. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Happy Friday.
Hey, Fortunate. So
Hey,
good to
hey.
be here.
How you doing, Billy Jim? Did Billy Jim just jump in?
Sure
Yes, he
did.
did.
All right. Well, we are in the midst of recording Redwire, as you know. And who else do we have out there? Did everybody say hi? Introduce yourselves.
Well, I'm Lady RWB. Hello. So glad to be here.
And I'm Honeybee 7, and I am looking forward to this.
All right.
And I'm Billy Jim, just showing up, but I am here.
All right.
And I'm Magic. And I'm always glad to be in the backside with my buddy.
Well, I don't do much of anything in the backside, but it's good to have you on the backside.
Yeah, I thought about that after.
That's all right. That's all right.
Wrong play words, Cal. Wrong play words.
Hey, we got to make the most of
it.
it, right? While we can.
Right?
I am Sassy Q, and I am honored to be invited to join you guys today.
Awesome.
And I'm McMulo, back for a second time.
Yes. Well, thank you all so much, Billy Jim, Honeybee, Lady, Magic, Sassy, and Rick. Such a pleasure to have you guys here. You know how we do it here. We introduce ourselves after our little monologue there, and we move directly into one of our most important parts of the show. Lady and Magic, would you guys like to lead us in our prayer?
Of course. Heavenly Father, we ask that what comes out today is what's needed to be heard by any patriot or non-believer alike, and that your spirit always flows through everything we do inside this movement. We ask that when we have to delve into the deep, dark things that sometimes we must go, you are able to soothe the souls of those listeners and let them know that you are constantly in control. We ask these things in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
And Father, I just want to praise you and thank you for these patriots in this room, and for Fortunate, Father. I just thank you that we are here to shed light on stuff and to be positive. So, Father, I just thank you and hold up this show to you in Jesus' wonderful name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, ladies.
Amen.
Amen.
That's how we do it here. That's how we started out. We always give it up to the one who deserves it the most, the smallest voice that we need to be listening most carefully to. Am I right?
Amen to that, brother.
All right. Well, you all right over there, Billy?
I'm fine.
All right.
I'm just getting back. I'm surprised that, that you're just starting now. I'm catching my wind.
Right on. Yeah, we know you've been working hard in the background there. And that's another thing, we all work so hard to do what we do every day in the Matrix and in our lives. And I really appreciate that you all are here with me after having already done all that. You guys are amazing, and I really can't thank you enough. So today, you guys, it's a little selfish of me here, but I want to start with something that's been on my mind, and it has to do with an article that I recently wrote for the PatriotSoapbox.com website. Are you guys, I'm sure you've already seen it, am I correct?
Correct.
So we're going to cover it for anybody else who may not have seen it. As many of you know who heard last week, I am planning to cover an event on August 17th in the Portland area. Sassy Q is going to join me, and we've got a bunch of other Patriots as well that are going to join in. It could be a dangerous environment, and I wrote an article about it because it had been in my mind. I was planning. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and share this article. And let's see here. All right, so this is from PatriotSoapbox.com by yours truly. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. So it's called Conflict and Coverage of the Political Climate in the Era of Antifa. With the constant conflict of ideology swirling around today's political climate, violence has crept into the discourse. Individuals that dub themselves social justice warriors have teamed up with others to create an all-out violent offensive against those that do not agree with their narrative. The collective has dubbed themselves ANTIFA, the short for the anti-fascist movement. In the past, citizens were able to vent their frustrations and ideas through civil conversation and activism. Those days seem to be fading away. Today's journalists attempting to cover politically charged events and happenings can no longer simply show up and document the event. Sadly, serious preparation and safety consideration is involved. In anticipation of an event I'm planning to cover in mid-August, I began to build my plan for travel and technology needed to effectively document the event as a man on the street. I came to realize that it is not simply enough to plan for the act featuring the event, but that my safety could very well be in question if I'm not careful. In recent past, events where Antifa has had a presence have ended with multiple injuries, many very serious. Andy No, a conservative journalist covering Antifa protests in Portland, Oregon, was assaulted with milkshakes filled with a yet undetermined substance that many believe was cement mix, as well as multiple blows to the head and face. This left No cut and bruised about his body and in the hospital with a serious and permanent brain injury. This made me take serious consideration for my own safety. I began to rack my brain for people in my circle that might join me in covering this event, sort of a security detail, if you will. I began to contact friends that understand politics that might join me to be my eyes and ears while attempting to be a journalist in an environment that could possibly turn bad quickly. I then thought to myself how sad it is that I worry about my well-being while simply attempting to cover an event. This makes me mad. This makes me very angry at groups like Antifa. Why should I have to worry about violence from an organization that does their deeds under the banner of peace and anti-fascism? Shouldn't that be the safest environment for me to be in? Can I even call them an organization? How organized are they? I began to research the roots of Antifa movement. I came across an article from newspunch.com from October 24th, 2017, written by Sean Otto Tabatabai. In his article, he details what Shane Hunter, the founder of Antifa in Australia, said about the organization and their goals. Quote, they believe historically their roots were fighting Nazi oppression. They run a website which is updated every couple of weeks with a hit list of right-wing names. They believe if these people are allowed to speak, society will suffer, so they must be pushed back. There's no mission statement, rather it's a dangerous rhetoric. There are a lot of very damaged people who are drawn to it, unquote. He goes on to state, quote, it's more dangerous than ISIS. Often the people who are drawn to this cult don't have a strong identity outside it. I'm not a psychologist, but like ISIS, it gives people a sense of belonging to something and having purpose. He also blames George Soros for using Antifa to, quote, start a civil war in every country of the world, unquote. The hateful, violent tactics that Antifa currently use in protests to gatherings of prayer warriors praying for peace and the lives of those unable to protect themselves, veterans and others gathered to show their love of our country, is enough, in my opinion, to consider them more of a fascist movement than an anti-fascist movement. Here is the Merriam-Webster dictionary definition of fascism. Fascism, often capitalized, a political philosophy, movement, or regime such as that of the fascisti that exalts nations and often race above the individual and that stands for a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, severe economic and social regimentation, and forcible suppression of opposition. That last section of the definition sums up Antifa tactics, forcible suppression of opposition. So instead of gathering in solidarity to voice their opinion against their opposition in a peaceful manner, they arrived to protest with their faces covered, weapons of all types in hand, with armor and shields, gloves, helmets, and random unidentified liquids and substances. They hurl these items and insults at onlookers and participants who either do not agree with their narrative or are simply documenting their actions for the world to see. They spew hate in the name of peace while simultaneously destroying the lives and property of the citizens that share their city. To me, this seems like the opposite of what Antifa says they stand for. To me, this looks like fascism. If an ideology forces you to cover your face and harm your neighbor in the name of peace, there's a problem. It seems that what Antifa has been portrayed as in the mainstream media is not what they are at all. Liberal news outlets hail Antifa as social justice warriors, which they are not. They're not fighting for unity and freedom. They're fighting to suppress anyone who does not agree, even if that means eliminating the threat through violence. Another group of people in history did something similar, the Nazis. An added disadvantage to those that do not agree is that in many of these liberal cities where the protests occur, local government officials have issued stand-downs to the police and first responders. This effectively gives full permission for Antifa to do as they wish in destruction of their opposition and property in the area. Instead of protecting the people, they sit and watch as their cities fall into violent disarray. Communities suffer, as does what we call our democracy. No longer can you voice your opinion in safety. You now must worry for your life while trying to peacefully state your piece, as should be the American way. How has it come to this? A journalist, regardless of political standpoint, cannot feature protest events without the possibility of bodily harm. a veteran in a wheelchair waving an American flag, someone who fought and signed the dotted line with their life for this country, could be torn from his seat and beaten in the name of freedom. This makes no sense to me. I personally will not stand for it. I will not cower in fear. I am not afraid. I will not let this quote unquote organization have any sway in whether I will say what I need to say or report on what needs reporting. These people are weak when not in numbers. These people are ineffective with their words and must resort to weapons and hate rhetoric. We must continue to stand tall in our resolve and fight for the sanctity of our constitutional republic. My voice may be small, but Antifa will not quiet me. God bless America. So there you have it. That's the article I just wrote for the Patriot Soapbox, published just a couple days ago.
That was great.
You know the point that standed out most to me, Fortunate?
What's that, Sassy?
It was when you said, shouldn't that environment be one of the safest on the planet?
Absolutely. I'm going to an environment where one side promotes the love of our country and the other side is supposed to be promoting peace, understanding, anti-fascism. I don't believe that's what's coming from that side.
It's not been my experience from what I've seen goes on.
Yeah, it's sad. The public discourse used to be our safe environment. You know, before the days of kids wearing safety pins so that you knew that you could spill your feelings to them, our safe place was our discourse. And we're losing that because our discourse is becoming an environment that is literally a war.
And did you notice at the last debate, Cory Booker kept going on about how the GOP was trying to get the Democrats to attack each other? That he realized that he was at a debate and an argument was going to ensue?
Yeah, like they put us at odds with each other. Well, dude, that's what a debate is. Just saying, you know. I don't understand lots of their narratives, and they're all just pushing as far left they can. I mean, some of them are starting to pull a little bit to center because they know they may not have a fighting chance if Joe Biden remains the most moderate that they have. You know what I mean?
Well, even Biden is starting to come across with our talking points. I was wondering a time or two when I was listening to him the other night, does he realize what side he's supposed to be on?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the whole world's beginning to wonder if he knows what side he's supposed to be on, or any of them for that matter, because it doesn't feel like it's the American people.
Certainly not. I mean, I don't even know if they know what their fight is anymore. I think they're all kind of still grasping at straws as to what might possibly get them a general election. I mean, they're grasping at straws. You know, their voter base is going down. We're cutting off their access to the rest of their voter base by closing and shoring up our borders, reforming our immigration policies. This does not bode well for the Democratic Party of late.
No, it does not. I was talking to somebody this afternoon, just happened to be a repairman, which was exciting because he was awake. I don't know how we got on the subject, but oh my gosh, he was pulling all this stuff, you know, videos and stuff. He knows of Q, but anyway, he was showing me a video of Sleepy Joe Biden, then Vice President in the Obama administration, and talking about the border, that they were just gonna let and this was way back, okay, and saying that their plan was to have these immigrant illegals just come in and take over. Those were his words, and I saw the video. And so we exchanged phone numbers. So hopefully we'll just be talking some more about, what we're fighting for. He's awake, though. Oh, my goodness. It was just so comforting to hear somebody else, being awoke.
Yeah, isn't it great when you meet somebody like that in public?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
very cool.
Yep. So.
The day I met Sassy Q, I was in the parking lot with Shmuel of the restaurant that we were going to meet at that morning.
Yeah.
And, we're just kind of hanging around waiting for people to start rolling in. And this lady rolls by my car because we're standing outside of the car. She goes, "I really like your sticker. I have the 'Where we go one, we go all' on the back of my vehicle, hashtag WWG1WGA. And I'm like, "Oh, great. Are you familiar with Q?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah." I'm like, "Well, you won't believe." And she was familiar with Patriot Soapbox as well. And I'm like, "Well, you won't believe who I'm meeting here right now."
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, it was cool.
You're
And she's like,
funny.
"Well, we got to get to an appointment, but that's so cool that you guys are here. I had no idea any of you guys were in town." I'm like, "Oh, well, actually,
We're
I believe,
everywhere.
yeah, I believe we are everywhere." Gotta love that. So
that was my highlight of the day because, I feel like I'm by myself here, as far as in my hometown. Oops, excuse me. I'm sorry.
no worries.
Yeah. Well, one thing to remember is that the left, and especially Antifa, play by the Alinsky style tactics. The only way to combat them is to use what Andrew Breitbart had said in his book Righteous Indignation.
Okay.
Yeah, and one of the rules, and I was just thinking about this as you were reading the article, Fortunate, is not to let the Democrat media complex use its PC lexicon to characterize you and shape the narrative. If you got a big story, the complex will do what it always does, attack you personally using the PC lexicon, and you've immediately become a sexist, racist, homophobic, jingoistic nativist. And it goes on to say how Andrew Breitbart was confronted by Daryl Jenkins of One People's Project based on Breitbart's defense of James O'Keefe. And the key to that conversation is that Andrew Breitbart didn't start defending himself against Jenkins's baseless charge of racism. He dismissed it out of hand as ridiculous because it was ridiculous. Name calling is the left's best strategy, and if you don't lend it credence and instead force them to back up their charges with specifics, you win. We need to revel in the name calling. It means that we've got them reduced to the lowest basis tactic and the one that carries the least amount of weight if you refuse to abide by their definition of you.
Yes. Well, I mean, what about when they resort to violence, though? How much impact does that have? What impact is created as well by the fear that they put in you that you can't voice your opinion. It's Big Brother style stuff, if you ask me. I mean, it's full on suppression of your voice.
I mean, just take a look at the Occupy movement. And how violent they had become.
True.
Well, and I think Antifa has grown out of those same people that were running the Occupy movement.
Oh, yeah, there's some bleed over there for sure. I mean, easy transition. A lot of these people, too, are just kind of looking for something.
Go
ahead, honeybee. Go ahead.
No, you said that. I was going to say the same thing. They're bored. They lack a sense of purpose. They've, so long been told how to think, what to feel, do what feels right, do things because you can, not, necessarily that you shouldn't, just because you can do something, you shouldn't, so you give them to be outraged over and they'll take it. If it feels right, they will become your marching army, and they will drop things at a moment's notice to go and wreak havoc like that. And they've lost all sense of self-respect and moral compass because, or maybe they didn't have it. You know, how does it make sense? I don't understand how they can justify it in their own heads. It's brainwashed.
Well, I mean, they've dubbed themselves the social justice warriors, right? So they truly think that they are changing the world and that they are going to give the world social justice. If you want true social justice, then hold people accountable to the law. Wouldn't that be the most fitting root of what social justice should be?
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, those
It
rules
should
are
be.
put in place to protect us.
Well, and they're a generation that has been raised with the idea of no boundaries. So they don't respect the property of other people. They think that you upset them, they can go in and just start destroying things.
Also, they've grown up with, social media from day one. So, they have endless opportunity to share the opinion.
We're losing you there, honeybee. Your mic's going out. There you go. You're back. You're
There
back.
we go.
Say what you just said again.
Well, just saying that they've grown up, they probably have never known the day where there wasn't social media. And they have, unlimited access to everybody's opinions and expressing their own with no accountability. They've got distance to protect them. They've got they don't have.
Going low again, honeybee.
Oh my goodness! Good thing my new headset's on the way. But like you're saying, just a lack of accountability and anonymity for so long has protected them, and now they're moving out of, at least they're moving out in the streets, but they still have their masks on. I don't know. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're not interrupting at all. Your mic was fading in and out. This is an open forum, you guys. We're respectful of each other, and you can always just step in and say your
I was worried I jumped on somebody at the start there. I don't want to do that.
No, you're all good. You're all good.
Okay.
And with this, not having a purpose, you guys talk about the kids not having a purpose. It's kind of scary that they have the AOCs out there and, these, the squad of 4,
Yes.
It's very, very dangerous because, yeah, get free this, get free that, that these individuals are, in my opinion, wanting everything on a silver platter.
You owe me.
And not shown how to be responsible for yourself and work and have, where you're not living in your parents' basement and being fed, Hot Pockets. I'm sorry.
I'll look at AOC. She's gone from a bartender's salary to $300,000 a year by answering a cattle call, basically.
Yes. And one of these days we're going to go over that. There was a great report by Mr. Reagan called The Brains Behind AOC. And it totally backs up the claim that there was a casting call put on by what essentially is the Young Turks under the name the Justice Democrats. And they put out a casting call so they could super saturate primaries in specific cities, see how many people they could actually get seated. And they're going to continue this. And it's going to be very dangerous for us if we aren't aware of it, because it worked. They got in there AOC, they got in there Presley, and they got in there Rashida Tlaib, all from Justice Democrats casting calls. So I don't know about you guys, but that 3 out of the 4, if you were to include then who I call Sharia Omar, Ilhan Omar, you've got a very dangerous 4. I think they're pretty dumb myself. I don't think they can last. The facade can't last. Although they're getting their talking points from the Justice Democrats, and they're going to continue to do this. I honestly don't think they can keep the sway of power in the public spectrum when they keep getting shot down for the stupidity that is inherent in their narrative. Am I right?
Right.
Exactly.
Well, and
There's one
Shalee
thing.
was backed up by the CARE movement, was she not?
She was.
Yes.
What were you
Oh
going
my
to say,
God.
Billy Jim?
The one thing that bothers me is they learned a lot from 2016 and getting those in. They started off with 27. When they come back at 2020, lessons they learned in 2016, they figure they can get 8 in. You add the 8 with the 4. If them 4 manage to hold out and be reelected, that would be 12.
Mm-hmm.
That's getting real dangerous.
Yep. It gains exponentially very quickly, does it not?
Oh yeah.
That's a very scary thing, Billy Jim. It's a very scary thing because the numbers will compound quickly. And it's not a lot of years, you guys. We can't rest on our laurels that, oh, we've got 2 years, or we've got 4 years, or we get 4 more years of Trump. We need to be thinking about 2024. We need to be thinking
Exactly.
that far right now because they were playing the long game, and they always have played the long game. We just happen to be able to skirt what could have happened to us if Hillary had gotten the presidency. We kind of dodged a bullet with Trump, and we got the best we could get from it with that guy. I don't know about you guys, but salute to President Trump. He's changed the face of our nation.
Amen. And going back to those 4, I don't think they were elected. I think they were selected, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Just
that's a much better word.
Just like
I
Hussein.
agree with that.
Just like Hussein. He did that twice. I mean, my son back then, he was like, how is that possible? He had, for a second term, I was like, are people so stupid? But back then I was not really awake. You know what I mean? But yeah, we need to really fight. And I got a Twitter account. I'm so excited. So
Yay!
I'm waiting.
Nice.
Here's a quick question.
Sure, honey.
Speaking of the 2016 election, not 2016, Obama's second election.
2012.
Yeah, I was so ready. I was like, I was sure people would vote him out, and I had barely got my popcorn out of the microwave when it was called. It was like 9:00 at night. Does
Right?
anybody remember how early that
Mhm.
election was called?
I know.
I mean, the polls had only been closed for a couple hours.
It seemed as predetermined as the ball dropping on New Year's Eve.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was astonished.
Yeah. Well, what they do is they focus on the exit polls of specific precincts. I know because in 2000 and 2004, I was an exit poll worker. So what they would do is they would survey like I think it was 1 in every 10 people, and then they would hand them a survey, then they'd fill it out and then drop it in. And then based on how the exit poll goes, that's how they determine how the state would go.
I don't think that's right, in my opinion. You should wait until all the votes are in, all the ballots are in, My
Yeah.
opinion.
All the
It's
legal,
my opinion.
let's say all the legal votes are in.
Right.
We
Because
know there were bus loads and van loads and truckloads in South Florida that were brought in.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to wait 2 or 3 days before we get a new president for the sake of having a second reference. and actually be able to verify across two different types of channels what the real votes are. It would be really easy if we could shore that up with a simple voter ID, don't you think? Maybe a voter ID that's based on citizenship, like you only get the star if you did the work or you were born here.
Right.
There you go.
You know,
True.
not a driver's license, not even part of the driver's license. Make it separate, make it its own thing. If you don't have that specific card, you do not vote.
Well, it needs to be a two-tier system, not only a voter ID, but there has to be eyes on when the votes are being counted. When the primaries were going during the last Obama's election, I was a member of a group called Watch the Vote, and we rallied people in as many states as we could to get them in as many precincts as we could to literally watch them count the votes in the precincts. And we caught that gaffe that Iowa did when they tried to give it to, I can't remember who it was now. I just lost the names. But anyway, the person that ultimately won Iowa that time around, we wouldn't have won if we hadn't been watching them count the vote.
Yeah, there definitely has to be accountability across the board. You know, they take this so lightly, like this is nothing. We can be willy-nilly and we can fill out whatever we want and push it through. And then you have counties like Broward County that just can't seem to get it right multiple times. And what's her name actually being convicted of a charge of tampering and then being left on the board to do it again. I don't understand that. What was that lady's name?
Anna Brazil?
No.
She is of
the Broward County man. You know what? It's just I'm getting a brain fart right now, but I think you guys know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I think most of our audience probably does as well. Just look up Broward County voter fraud. You'll get plenty of information. In fact, let me do that right now just so we solidify that name.
or else it's going to drive you nuts, right?
It's going to drive everyone nuts.
Yep.
Well, it'll come to you. The name that I couldn't come up with before was Rick Santorum. He's the one that won Iowa, but wouldn't have if we hadn't been watching.
Okay, yeah, and it was Brenda Snipes, the election supervisor for Broward County. Yeah, I mean, she had already been in trouble, you know? So
yeah, the one the governor fired and the judge said, "Oh, you can't do that." She's back in.
Yeah, right.
All these corrupt judges and.
well, hey, you guys, this is amazing conversation. Is this not? I mean, you guys are awesome. This is great.
You know what? Okay, when you guys have brought up Obama winning in 2012, it kind of reminds me a lot of an event that I had written for a blog that I had in 2008, and I'll drop it in chat if one of you guys wouldn't mind sharing it.
All right, I think we can do that.
Yeah, let me just drop. Hold on a minute. Yeah. Basically, I had entitled the rant "The Lack of Knowledge of People Who Vote," and let me try and pull the link up. Yeah, there's a link there. And,
all right, stand by.
And it's okay.
17th rant.
Yep.
All right. So, are you going to read it there, Rick?
Yeah. I got it up in a separate window here.
So
if you want to share it.
Here. It's not going to give me a reader mode, folks, so bear with it. It is black and red. But here we go. I hope you guys can see that.
No ads on there anyway, except for the Lawrence links, which I'll get to in a little bit. But anyway, as I was listening to the radio, I tuned into the Neil Boyd show, and he mentioned something which I found disturbing, and we'll even make mention of it here. And Neil Boyd had written a blog post that how Obama got elected by Neil Boortz, November 19, 2018. Now that the election is over, this report by John Ziegler, which I just checked is still live, is making some waves. Maybe because it exposes some of the Obama mania, also because it shows how the mainstream media was in the tank for Barack Obama in this election, and also because it demonstrates the fruits of our government education system. Now, I don't care what else you do today, so long as you don't abuse any small animals. But please watch this video. Side note, okay, the video had it to where people were being interviewed and they were like, like, okay, they would have, in the case of Obama, who like, you know, who, who vote or who had gone to Columbia, who cheated on their, or who plagiarized, they reported in the case of Biden. The voters did not know. However, you would ask people a question like, who said they could see Russia from their house? And people are like, oh, that's Sarah Palin. And that's what the video is about. The video is about 12 minutes long, so that's why I don't want to play it because I don't know, because I think you might want to stop. But anyway, Newport goes on to say, on election day, some Obama voters were chosen by the producers of an upcoming documentary, How Obama Got Elected. These voters represented a cross-section, young and old, black and white, male and female. They were chosen based on their verbal abilities and willingness to express their feelings to a large audience. Listen to these people. I promise you, you will be entertained. Certainly, it is hard to judge the true nature of Obama supporters based on the random ones selected for this video. So the Zogby people were commissioned to conduct a telephone poll to ask a greater number of Obama supporters the very same questions asked of the people in the video. Oh, and one other thing to keep in mind. The people were given multiple choice answers to these questions. Even with the multiple choice, here were some of the results. 94% of Obama's voters correctly identified Sarah Palin as a candidate with a pregnant teenage daughter. 86% of Obama voters identified Palin as a candidate who spent $150,000 on a campaign wardrobe. 86.9% of Obama voters thought that Palin said she could see Russia from her house, even though the quote actually came from Saturday Night Live. Now for some news about the candidate they were supporting. 57.4% of Obama voters could not correctly identify which party controls Congress. 82.6% of Obama voters could not correctly say that Barack Obama won his first election by getting opponents kicked off the ballot. 88.4% of Obama voters could not correctly say that Obama said that his policies would likely bankrupt the coal industry and make energy rates skyrocket. 56.1% of Obama voters didn't know that Obama started his political career in the home of Bill Ayers, an unrepentant terrorist. Now, you have a measure, for good or bad, of some of the voters who went to the polls on election day awash in Obama mania. Do some of you now think that there are people voting who should not be allowed to vote? Remember, there is no constitutional right to vote in a presidential election. Shouldn't we be weeding out some of these people off the voting rolls? Also, here's an interview with John Ziegler by Nate Silver. Oh my, is it full of bad words. I had followed the comments and also the callers to Neil's show, and most of what I had read and heard was rather disturbing, especially in regards to the fact that people just pick and choose what they want to hear and learn. And that's it. And that's the end of the rant.
Well, that's a great rant right there.
Good rant.
There is one aspect of it that I don't know that I completely agree with, and that is do some of you now think that there are people voting who shouldn't be allowed to vote? I always think there are people who shouldn't be allowed to vote, but it's not my place to put them in a position not to be able to because of their ignorance. That's why I feel it's so important that we educate in Red Pill at all costs, because there are so many of these people that we look at and we're like, you have no clue. Why are you even voting? But that's a given right that God graced on this country as a constitutional right for us to do, for us to have. It is a privilege. Well, you said there is no constitutional right in a presidential election. That is true, but we are graced with the ability to do so. I can't hinder someone else's ability to do so just because they're stupid. I just want to educate them on the other hand. You guys feel me?
Yeah, I think what Neil said was that voting isn't a right, but a privilege.
Yeah. Well, I consider it a privilege.
Much like a driver's license isn't a right, but a privilege.
That's right. I would like to show you guys an image that I got from the repairman today. Can you guys hear me? I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am. 5x5.
And it's kind of bone chilling. Can you guys see that okay? Here, let me put this down. There we go.
Yes.
Can you guys read it okay? Do I need to make it bigger? The lettering? Can somebody read that for me, please?
Yeah, let me move the screen and I'll be able to. It was on my little screen. Okay, I can see it now. So we've got a photo here of David Rockefeller walking with Hillary Clinton. She's pretty young there. What does that look like? 94, 95, something like that?
This is when Bill was in office. So it's probably in the
mid-90s.
90s, early 90s.
Yeah.
They were at Camp David.
Okay. So it says underneath
2003.
Yeah.
2003.
Well, the quote is from 2003.
Oh, okay.
So it says here, some even believe we are part of a secret cabal working against the best interests of the United States, characterizing my family and me as, quote, internationalists, unquote, and of conspiring with others around the world to build a more integrated global political and economic structure. One world, if you will. If that's the charge, I stand guilty, and I am proud of it. David Rockefeller from his memoirs, 2003. Wow.
Good Lord.
Very interesting, huh?
You know, they don't hide anything.
They do not.
You know, hiding in plain sight, right?
Right. And
can you put that back up for just a second, please?
Oh, sure, honey. Hang on. I have to get it. So you guys talk amongst yourselves because I
just want to get a screenshot of it, and so I can put that in a save spot and have that to recall.
Okay, honey. Just give me a second. How about if I drop it in your DM?
That's fine. That's
okay,
fine.
honey.
That's good. Thank you.
All righty. You're so welcome.
Can you send it to me too, lady?
Sure, Sassy.
Yeah, I'd like a copy of that as well,
3,
please.
4.
You see, watch you guys.
Wait
Wait
till I talk to my friend and say, guess what?
Might as well just go down the list.
I know, right? Okay.
This does bring up another subject that I have to bump onto right now, and that is that you see how we want to share this link between us so that we all have it. Well, on the other channels that we work on, obviously we have the ability to do so. We just drop it in our chat and live chat it and get it to whomever we want and spread it around the world. We do not have that luxury right now because our channel does not have 1,000 subscribers. So everyone out there who's listening, few of you though there may be, spread the word. Get in here, hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up every time you hear our stuff. And that'll push us closer and closer to that 1,000 members that we need in order to have a live chat and go live. We could be doing this right now live with you guys instead of you watching our pre-recorded show. So that just showed right now how important it is that we can do that, guys, because we could be sharing that with everybody all in one fell swoop, right?
That's right.
Exactly.
And I digress. I apologize. Sometimes you got to just clean house a little bit, right?
Mhm.
Wow. Well, hey, you guys, do you want to take a quick little music break?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. This time I'm going to leave it to multiple choice, kind of like the voters that they surveyed who still couldn't get the answer right with a multiple choice question. We're going to get this answer right because I'm going to get it from you guys. I could play, and let's do a little drum roll here. How about either Cushion On, Take It On Back, our buddy Cush, or since we were talking about the Democratic Party, The Dumbs by Ruben
Oh,
Obe.
play the Dum Dums. Play Dum Da Dums. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
What do you guys
Oh.
think?
I haven't heard that one yet. Please play that one.
Oh, all right.
God.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
you're going to love it.
Yeah, we're doubling up on this one. We put this on the last Redwire radio episode last week, but man, it's one of those ones that's so fun. It'll have you doing a cumbia or a merengue in your
Or
living
salsa.
room or some salsa.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's right.
The suspense is building. Dumb.
You're going
All
to love
right,
it.
you guys are gonna love it. So we're gonna take a quick break
Just in
here.
case,
Yes. Oh, go ahead.
just in case I have to go, I want to say thank you for inviting me on. It's always great to be with you guys. So
Oh, it's
Thank
always
you much.
great to be with you for sure. If you do get bumped out or you have to go, no worries. We thank you so much for coming in, Honeybee. It's
My pleasure.
Always
Thank you,
a pleasure.
Honeybee.
Love
Thank you.
you.
Love you, honey.
Bye-bye.
Great being on with you, Honeybee.
And remember, Honeybee and Sister Girl and Billy Jim have a show on Sunday, Patriots Rising AM Sunday edition. So watch
Woohoo!
out for them.
Yes. And
Yes.
Sassy, I hope to get to spend more time with you as well. So I'll be looking forward to
Oh, you're welcome to hop on and join us anytime.
that. I'd love to. Y'all have so much fun on that show.
I'm not coming on
Meow, meow,
early
meow,
anymore
meow.
because every time I come on and hear you guys, I end up on Amazon buying something.
All right. Well, go ahead there, Fortunate.
All right, no worries. They're gonna have their own commerce store. Watch. I was listening to them last night. They got all kinds of great products ready to go out in the mix. They were. Who was it? Magaswagger last night was getting really excited about it. He's like, "You guys are gonna make me rich." Yeah. We all know that's not why we're here, but it's fun, and you guys have a great time. Always so much fun to listen to. And on that note, let's have some more fun here with The Dumbs by Ruben Obe. Here we go, folks.
Dums, the dums, dums, the dums.
Bear with me, folks. It's not working. Hold on one second.
No worries.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. So I saw this the Dumb song on the I don't know what their show is called, but it's with Learn, Share, and Percival. That's where I seen it. I was like, oh my
Rise
God.
and Shiners.
Is that who they are? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
The rise and shine. They
The
put a
rise-
rise to your shine and
There
a
you go.
shine to your rise.
And have cat videos.
Mm-hmm.
I love cat videos.
Yeah, they're lots of fun in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry
I mean,
about that,
just-
guys. I had a browser that decided it wanted to take over this video and didn't want to cooperate with me.
Would you like me to share it, perhaps?
Yeah, you can go do that if you would like.
All
I love
right.
that. I'm always having
Talk
an issue
amongst
with it.
yourselves, and I'll pull it up.
Sorry about that, guys. Technical
No worries.
glitches, it happens. That's what happens when you're live, even though it's pre-recorded. Yeah, we're like
Oh,
a
yeah.
live robot.
To prove you're not a robot, please click all the stoplights.
Oh, jeez. I hate those captchas.
I think we all do. You're funny, Billy Jim.
You missed one. Now please click all the crosswalks.
Exactly.
I can't see. I don't have my glasses on. Just let me in.
And I'm like looking at it. Is that a storefront or is that a house? It's kind of blurry.
Right?
I know.
Then they
What's
stick
up?
just a little corner of a piece of a bus.
Yeah, it's like, what did I miss? What did I miss? You didn't miss anything. I like when I get to do it like 13 times. I get like a whole bunch of puzzles. Feel like I've been on.
There you are.
After I get past the first one, I just say, oh hell with it. Let's just shut the browser down and start all over.
Yeah.
And I find out that I typed in the wrong. I got so fast, with my one finger, I hit two keys at the same time, and my zip code had an extra number in it.
Mm.
Oh, doing this bit again. Are you kidding me? Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I don't know why it's doing that.
I'm going to try again here.
Okay, go ahead. That is weird.
If I can just grab the link, I remembered you sent it to me. So.
Yep, let me see if it'll do it again. Dang it. Nope. It's wanting to show my browser even though I selected something else. Oh well.
I actually think I have it now. So.
I could drop the link in.
Oh, I got it, I think.
You got it? Okay.
Boom, you guys can see that.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Dumb is an illness that is going around. Dumb is a symptom that is doing its rounds. Dumb tells the people that all things should be free. Dumb doesn't tell them what it's gonna cost you and me. Dumb is a person voted in by the dumbs. Dumb is in Congress speaking out for the bums. Dumb say the planet will die in 10 years. Dumb just get dumber with everything that she says and hears. Dumb is a millennial, not in touch with our past. Dumb makes the promise that comes out of her assumption that socialism is healthy, that socialism is fair. But take a look at Venezuela and explain what has happened there. Hey, dumb, can't you see? Hey, dumb, AOC. Dumb is now trending, killing babies at birth. Dumb is in favor of the sins of this earth. Dumb is an accomplice and a puppet to them. Yet dumb doesn't seem to dumb when supporting the things that are bad. But dumb is in Congress talking bad of the Jews. The other dumb is a speaker with the dentures approved. She's dumb. Another dumb in Congress calls our commander-in-chief mofo. Dumb is Sharia and represents what we call a foe. The enemy of you and me, voted into power by the freaking dumb. Oh yeah, Donald Trump, this Latino gonna vote for Trump. Alexandra Ocasio-cortez's a dum-da-dum. Lano is a dum-da-dum. Sheila Tlaib is a dum-da-dum. Nancy Pelosi's a dum-da-dum. Chuck Schumer's a dum-da-dum. Michael Cohen's a dum-da-dum. And Colter is a dum-da-dum. And Carmen Yulin is a dum-da-dum. Too many, too many, too many, too many, too many, too many, too many dum-da-dums.
him.
Yeah,
Yes.
AOC.
Love.
The lady with the memeable face.
The most memeable face, man.
Too many.
I love it.
That is one of my faves.
You know, and I loved that he made AOC essentially the main dumb in that entire thing.
Yes.
I personally think that, considering I know her history, I think she's kind of an idiot, very much so. And I did make another video. I'm wondering if I'm going to be able to access it here. About AOC. You know, you can build your own AOC. Did you guys know that? If I can find it. I can't find it, you guys. This is weird. I wonder if somebody took it off my channel. That's very strange. All of a sudden, it is not where it should be. I wonder if I'm getting jacked with. I would not be incredibly surprised.
Right.
Let's see, I think I gave it to a friend. Let's see. Maybe I gave it to Lady. Did I give it to Lady? I give most everything to Lady, you guys.
What are you looking for, hon? What are you looking for?
Building an AOC. Magic, did you have that one?
No, I think you gave that one to Magic, if she's around. Let me see. I'll look real quick, too.
Bear with us here, folks.
Yeah.
This is live radio, so we've got all the time in the world. I could cut this out if I want to. So no, I'm not really roboting. I was just cutting that up. All right, I think I found it here. All right.
You need a soundboard with the scissors snipping away.
Right? That would be great. Got to go to Chano for cool stuff like that.
Well, I bet he can find it for you, too.
I'm loving his sample board for Trump right now. I want to get myself a Nancy Pelosi one.
Oh, jeez.
I would so love to have a Nancy that I could just fall back on at any given time, you guys.
I have Kurt Ball with me all the time.
People ask me why do I sound like this when I talk? It's like, well, what else do you do when your teeth are floating? That's right.
I thought it was funny in the Dumb to Dumb song. It talked about her dentures.
Her dentures to prove it. All right. Well, this is a little funny clip that I made. Really cheesy Photoshop PowerPoint movie about what it would take to build yourself an AOC. You guys ready for this? Hopefully you guys can see that 5x5.
5x5.
Boom.
Yep.
So there you have it. You built yourself an AOC.
That was funny. I like that.
I know it's cheeseball, but hey, sometimes the funniest stuff is like dad jokes.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how we wound up with pickles. Just so random.
Well, you know, you don't always have to talk politics, you know? We can just have fun, you know? Anybody got any good dad jokes?
I got some bad jokes.
You know, dad jokes and bad jokes can be synonymous at the same.
Where do you find missing chess pieces?
Hmm.
I don't know. Where, Rick?
Pawn shop.
Oh, yes. I love it. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Pawn shop. That is cute.
Okay. How do you hide an elephant in a strawberry patch?
Don't know.
You paint his toenails red.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Oh, man.
I got one here. So this guy wakes up one morning and he puts his feet out on the side of the bed and into his slippers, and he realizes that his slippers are pretty darn big. So he walks across the room and he realizes it's really hard to reach the doorknob. Comes to the realization he might be shrinking. So now he freaks out and he quickly drives himself as quickly as he can to the hospital and just makes it before he can't reach the pedals. He runs in the door and there's this long line at the nurse's desk. He's getting smaller and smaller. So now he's getting so small he's getting really worried that he'll disappear. So he runs up and jumps up on the counter and pulls his little self up and says, Nurse, you gotta help me, I'm shrinking. And the nurse just looks at him and says, Sir, you're gonna have to learn to be a little patient.
Oh my God.
Okay, you guys, I've got to run, so y'all take it.
All right, honeybee.
I'll
We
see you
love you,
tonight.
honeybee.
Bye, honeybee.
Bye-bye.
He is flying away.
But you know what, guys? It feels good to laugh. You know, just be amongst friends and just laugh, because you know we hit it hard all week long. You know, with the news and tweets and Q posts. So, thank you. You guys made me laugh.
Oh yeah, thank you guys. This is awesome.
It's a positive thing.
You know, in the film Hitting Breitbart, which I highly recommend people watch, Andrew Breitbart had said that he has two modes: jocularity and righteous indignation. And I think that's what we both should have.
The hard part is mastering the craft of using each in the right place.
Right. The diplomacy of it all.
Right.
I find in sales I'm the constant diplomat, especially in the industry I work in. I work with a lot of musicians, and you guys all know how the entertainment industry is. We're reading a lot about it every day.
Oh yeah.
So I have to mind my P's and Q's, but every now and again I find an incredible patriot that I get to pull aside and have a conversation with. And usually they end up getting a free guitar strap or something out of me because I want to help them out. You know what I mean? Those are not people. But yeah, I'm so lucky to even have you guys back here with me to have a few laughs and have some conversation, some music. That is, as you know, and we're telling our listeners out there that Redwire Radio, we do try and stay as positive as possible. I mean, like you said, lady, we spent all week diving and digging, and we've had some heavy stuff, and there's more down the pike. Sometimes that can tend to darken us a little bit, and we end up in a shadow, and we don't always see that there's a light right there next to us. You just kind of have to look, and there's a voice in your ear that's always talking and always listening. And when we can remember that we are graced by God with the people that we have around us, and graced by God to have the ability to communicate like this, you guys. I mean, full range of abilities and disabilities and mental aptitudes and bad attitudes and everything else. We all are lucky enough to have this conversation. Am I right?
Yes,
exactly.
Indeed. Well said. Yes.
I mean, you know, we take each other for granted sometimes. And I just want you all in this room to know I'm not taking you for granted. I am grateful for you, and I thank God for you. So I much appreciate you guys being here with me.
Well, taking each other for granted is a mark of a true family.
Yes, well said. It's true.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you think to yourself, oh, what I do or what I say, is that going to hurt someone's feelings? But like, if you're thinking about your brother, you're like, screw his feelings. You know, it's my brother. He
Get
has
over
to deal
it.
with it. Yeah, but we never turn each other away, right? We may have disagreements, we may have difference of opinion, but here at Redwire Radio, we always come from a place of love and compassion first.
Amen.
If you can have that bond of just the simple compassion you offer someone else, regardless of what the conversation is, regardless of the hate rhetoric, regardless of how they come back at you, that doesn't change your ability to still love them. So we have to keep our compassion in check, as I say every single show, because those people who can't see now, when we're telling them the truth, are going to be the ones who eventually see and look back to us, because we were the ones telling them the truth. And we have to welcome them with open arms and bring them into the fold, because they will become our strength.
And be kind.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
treat each other with respect. I think respect is the number one thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And agree to disagree, you know. Just saying.
Right. Well, you know, as much as the narrative gets skewed and as much as the public discourse itself gets skewed in how we can, as I said in the article earlier, you know, how we can express ourselves or how we can cover something, we shouldn't have to be afraid. But that discourse is so important. We have to make sure that we keep that discourse peaceful. We have to make sure that we take our emotions out of it and keep that discourse logical, to appeal to all parts of people's brains. Everybody takes something different to know. Every red pill tastes a little bit different, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Mine tastes like cherry.
Mine tastes like liberty.
Yes.
Mine never did taste. Somebody just grabbed me and said, "Here, this is gonna hurt you for a minute." Just like
Yeah. Unfortunate. What you were just saying kind of reminds me of Andrew Breitbart's Rule 12 in his pragmatic primer. Truth isn't mean; it's truth. I know some of you are feeling rotten about using some of these tactics. We can ignore the tactics, but the left will continue to use them to their benefit. Just as the Frankfurt School relied on the good nature and honesty of Americans who wouldn't engage in unchristian tactics in order to achieve their massive victory, the left continues to rely on our honesty and above-board good nature to achieve theirs. We can't let them. We start by uncovering the truth and telling everyone about it. I'm not religious, and I'm certainly no theologian, but if there is one thing in religion that speaks to me, it is the idea of absolute truth. In fact, the word truth has meaning only if it is absolute. And absolute truth will set us all free from the grip of the complex, because the complex lives in the clouds, in the theoretical heavens. The Frankfurt School was successful only because they were able to shift Marxism's basis from real-world predictions to descriptions of supposed historical processes, making Marxism unfalsifiable. We have to falsify their theory by presenting unvarnished truth after unvarnished truth until the light dawns on everyone just how right we are.
The short version of that is fight fire with fire.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yep,
But that was very well said.
for sure.
Thank you. Henry Breitbart has a list of 13 rules, and I had mentioned one of them on the show Wednesday, which was, engage in the social arena, and which is what we should be doing, because the battle for the minds, no, the hearts of the people is right where we are, on the internet, outside, wherever.
Mm-hmm. Well, doing stuff like this with you guys is great, because this is my medium now. And I'm painting a picture. I don't know about you guys. I'm painting a picture because I want people to see it, and I want it to be from truth. We have our own ways of embellishing everything that we do. We have our own ways of telling the story, and all those talents that we have can be utilized. Don't ever underestimate yourself, because the tiniest little piece of this movement that you can push forward as your own is going to red pill the masses, right? We are awakening a very big sleeping giant.
Amen.
Exactly.
Yes. Amen.
You know, little voices like an alarm. Wake up! You know? Maybe we should start an alarm like that. That's just a bunch of different voices coming in at different times saying, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Oh, excellent idea.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah, well, I think people are waking up, you guys. I think this silent majority that we had in the last election with Donald Trump that really dodged the bullet of the 16-year plan, I think that was just a drop in the bucket in comparison to what he's been able to do with all of his achievements, with all these promises that were kept. Yes. When do you ever get to say that about a politician?
Right.
Politician told me this, and
Exactly.
less than a year later, he had done it, and it was the best record ever on the face of the planet.
Well, it's the first I've seen in my 6 decades.
Yes. Well, you know, during the Cincinnati rally, I think Trump even said something that totally caught my ear, and he's like, best record, and then he just like, ... of anything related to the economy. And I was like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Oh, that is funny.
And he can say that like with pride, because it's just true. I mean, you know, Snopes disregard that. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Well, you know, call
This
him
is a joke, in my opinion.
Yeah, call him boisterous all you want. He can back it up with results.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
and
did
those
you
results
guys-
are the truth.
I don't know if you know, but there's a couple of Trump tweets.
Oh, I can
one
get
of
on
them
that
is-
right now.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for the heads up. I hope somebody's watching Q too. I know that
I've
Rick
been
is
watching
usually
Q,
on
there's
that. He's got
nothing.
the fast-
Yeah. Nothing has come up on the Q post bot channel on the Patriot Soapbox server.
Did you guys see about the Radcliffe not stepping up to the DNI?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
he got too much flack, and maybe they decided together that it might be best that he go with one of his other appointments for the
Right.
sake of the lack of drama.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Got to keep it clean. You know,
Yep.
got to make sure it's going to do the job and be part of the plan. I was excited to see Radcliffe in there, but POTUS knows what he's doing. This is 4D chess, folks.
And you have to remember, it's possible that his wife wasn't willing to put herself through that.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, understood. I mean, look at just Kavanaugh's wife, what that poor lady had to go
Oh
through.
my goodness.
Yeah.
And his family may not have been willing to do that.
Yeah.
Which I can't blame him, you know, but it's a shame that this president has a hard time filling the right people in the place, because they get extremely attacked.
Oh, yes.
Viciously.
Indeed.
Never have I seen that kind of viciousness.
Well, and they just don't go after the person, they go after the person's entire family.
Right.
Right. It's not just the wives, it's their children.
Yeah.
And it's incredible.
Well, these people
And
know
that's
no
a-
bounds.
There's a lot to ask a family to go through.
It is. And you know, God, family, country, right? We've got to make sure to protect our family first. You know, so I can agree with that, and I can have incredible respect for that. Like, my family is so incredibly important to me. I would do anything for them first before myself, for sure. So, well, here we do have this new Trump tweet. It looks like it came out at what would be 1:50 p.m. my time, so 8 minutes ago. It says, "Nice to see that one of my best pupils is still a giant Trump fan. Steve joined me after I won the primaries, but I love working with him." So here we have a video, looks like from CNBC. It's Steve Bannon. So I'm going to have to play this in little spots, but do you guys want me to go ahead and play it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, here we go.
I don't know how much you saw of the debates, but I'm sure you read about them. At least, do you think that Biden is a front runner, or I don't know. I think that maybe Kamala Harris. I've heard people say she's in the pole position right now. What's your view on that?
Well, first off, I don't think Joe Biden. Look, on the polling and whatever this polling is, I just don't see it. The Democratic Party want to take on Donald.
Sorry, guys, I'm going to stop that there.
No, you're fine.
So you can see we've got Steve Bannon getting asked questions about the Democratic debate, that whole clown car debacle.
I wonder what his next words are going to be.
I know, right? I'm sorry I had to stop it there. In fact, I'm going to back it up a
Any
couple
of
seconds.
those are going to be
Yeah, well, we'll just leave it at that. That way I can keep my time. Dot, dot, dot. All right, so I'm going to put like 4 or 5 dots in this video,
know, right?
guys. Here we go.
Donald Trump. I get news flash for him. They're not going to take on Donald Trump with Joe Biden. He's not going to be able to stand up to the withering assault that Donald Trump. You've got to bring it. You've got to know how to hit a fastball. And Joe Biden's days of hitting a fastball are many years in back of him. And I also think it shows you right now with these. I did get a chance to see these, although I'm down on the border. You just don't see people take. I think it's still a pillow.
All right. Well, tell us what you really mean, Steve.
really subliminal. Let me see. Oh, I can't say that on there. Sorry.
You guys remember Subliminal Man? Kevin Nealon? No? Okay, never mind. All right, back to it.
Fight. And I think Kamala Harris and the leadership of the Democratic Party are not addressing the central issues in the world today. And I think they're very weak on China. Biden's atrocious on China. Biden's financial relationships, his family's relationships with China, he's soft on China. Kamala Harris soft on China. So I think that this is the key geostrategic. To be commander-in-chief, you have to have a defined point of view.
That you do.
That was subliminal. I could say something else. Oops, sorry. Cojones of steel.
That's right. All right, here we go again.
And you've got to let the American people know what that is. So I think these debates, I consider it a summer replacement show that's not going to get picked up for the fall. I think the ratings are down. There's no energy. I don't see any excitement in these candidates. So, you still got some people on the sideline. Right. I think this Democratic primary and the makeup of this thing is you've got Bloomberg, you've got Clinton, you've got some pretty savvy people on the sidelines, I think, watching this. And right now.
So he's talking about the enemy is definitely watching. So, this is what they're using to formulate their plans. So.
Yeah. But what's interesting? I mean, okay, there's about 4 months to go until the Iowa caucus. I mean,
yeah.
Those who are on the sidelines, they better, really try and get their butts in gear if they want to join in, join the clown car.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think a lot of them don't even care. A lot of them are running for the sake of trying to defeat something or, dodge a bullet somewhere for a little while, legally. I think others are just like, this is the best possible publicity I'm going to get. I got to just join in on this 20-plus person stage and see if I can get people to recognize my face. They don't have a chance for anything, to be honest.
I think less than a dozen of them have qualified for the next debate.
Yeah, I think I had heard about 7 or 8 so far.
Well, I don't think.
I got to run over to the barn and load a roll of hay for a guy.
Okay, Billy.
Call earlier.
Have a good one, Billy Jim.
All right.
Thanks for coming in, brother.
See you later, Billy Jim.
Take it easy.
All right, that was Billy Jim, Bronco Billy, folks, one of our favorites.
Yeah, and you want to know what else is sad? I mean, okay, we have the far left, you know, the Elizabeth Warrens, the Kamala Harrises, and yet you have people like Tulsi Gabbard and I think Marianne Williamson, who were actually, you know, the sanest, yet their polls are like way low, whereas the kooks, as Monica Crowley calls them, are up high.
Yeah.
Well, Marianne Williamson is definitely on my kook list.
No. What I mean by kook is, you know, something like an Elizabeth Warren or a Kamala Harris or, you know, and I know that she's not running, but like an AOC, so for example, you know, those who were trying to pull the left towards socialism, and yet you have, you know, blue dog Democrats or, you know, who are more or less centrists.
Yeah, those are becoming like unicorns these days.
Pretty much, yeah. Sorry about that, Fortunate.
Oh no, no worries, dude. I love everything that you're saying. So I was actually in the background trying to find. I had a image, a little short video of Marianne Williams yodeling essentially during the debate. I don't know if you guys heard the wings. That was hilarious.
My goodness.
Oh, good gravy.
Well, you guys, let's finish up this Trump tweet real quick here. Let me get these
Okay.
last few seconds of this video. Here we go. So back to Brennan.
The Democratic Party think they're going to beat. I think the Democratic Party wants to take out. If they want to take out Donald Trump, I don't see anybody on the stages either night.
You see Michael
come close to
Bloomberg
taking out Donald Trump.
But you see Michael Bloomberg or Hillary Clinton jumping into this?
I think that people are going to step back and watch this and look into the fall of this year and see if any of these candidates really come up and step up to the plate and can take on Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not only.
So it sounds to me like he's saying fall before there's even a front runner of any kind.
Well, I've kind of been predicting that we're not going to see the true front runners come out till just before the Iowa caucuses. And I was kind of thinking that Michelle might be the one that they put forward, but Rick put a really good theory out the other night that kind of takes the wind out of my sails over Michelle. But I'm still certain that we're not going to see anybody until just before the Iowa caucuses.
Question: has there ever been anyone, Republican or Democrat, who had joined who had declared candidacy, this late in the season? Because I mean, like normally about this time, you would see candidates drop out.
This last couple of election cycles have just been off the boards crazy.
Yeah, and it takes a higher profile individual popping in at the last minute for it to be viable for them still, because they've already missed the first and second debate stage, and they're riding on whatever they already have to appeal to the masses. I don't know if Michelle Obama's going to get in the mix. We've already seen reports from Fox News that Obama said that she does not want to do it, but is that a setup for, oh, hey, I decided to do it, everybody vote for me? Yay.
Very well could be. But Rick, what was your theory on her not going in? It made a lot of sense to me the other day.
I forgot what I was saying.
Well,
I'm sorry.
That she wouldn't want to get in up against Trump because she knew she'd get trounced, and it would probably ruin any chances for a further political career.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I get this feeling that she's not going to do it, and I hope she doesn't. I think I'd be more likely to see Oprah Winfrey or somebody like that try and jump in the mix.
Well, it's going to be a big name, no matter who it is.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, they would have to. They don't have anything. Guys,
Right.
they have nothing.
Yeah.
They would gain 40% more if they could ride just on name recognition at this point. Closest they got to that is a lame duck vice president. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, okay, I was involved with a group called Own the Narrative where back in 2012, and okay, they had said that, you know, we have a deep bench back then that, you know, come 2016, 2020, you know, because the Republicans run young candidates, you know, they have the bench, you know, that like if somebody were to have were to have failed, you know, they could run again. You know, whereas look who who the Democrats have, old and white.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, their identity politics is kind of coming back to bite them in the hiney, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, I mean, the one that they now have stepping up that they can back as an ethnic force really is Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, after smashing Kamala Harris.
Oh
in the
yeah,
debate.
I think I had read somewhere that, you know, Tulsi Gabbard could be the one to take down Elizabeth Warren. As a matter of fact, fortunate, I had read that this morning from Legal Insurrection.
Well, and then there's question about Tulsi's Article 2 eligibility, being born in American Samoa, and I believe her mother is a citizen, but her father wasn't. I've got to go back and look into the details a little bit closer.
You know,
Yeah,
I can. Go ahead.
Sassy, I think there's probably 5 shows in of itself because I've done research on natural born citizenship.
Oh, so have I since 2007.
Well,
And
we have
we
a
might
naturally born
disagree,
citizen
but
right here in this room, Lady RWB. She did it the right way, her family and her. Am I right,
That's
lady?
right. That is so right. Yes. Daddy came here from Honduras, and, you know, he lived in California for about a year. You know, he wanted to establish a household for us, and then he came for, you know, we, my mother and my sister and I, we flew. I had just turned 3 years old. My sister was still in diapers. She was a year and a half. So, yeah. And I am so proud of this country, and became a U.S. citizen about 35 years ago. So, and I went through the process here in Indiana. I was living here, but then I moved back home to California, which is not my home anymore. But it took, if I would have done it in California, you guys, it probably would have been 7 to 10 years at that time back in the 80s.
So you're a naturalized citizen.
Yes,
Amen. Welcome to America 35 years
Oh,
ago.
I've been here 35 years ago. And it's so sad because I moved back to California when I lived in Indiana the first time. And then I got the letter saying, oh, this is your last notice. You know, you're going to have to redo it all over again. My husband back then, he put me on a bus because, you know, we had just moved and the funds were kind of slim, you know. So he put me on a bus, but then I flew back home. So that was a compromise. But when I got sworn in, I had tears in my eyes, you guys.
Oh, I know. Every time I see one of those, I have tears in my eyes for you guys.
Yeah. So, and look at me now.
Yay!
That's why I'm Lady Red, White, and Blue, RWB.
There you go.
That's right. That's my girl right there. And you know what? We're so lucky to have you. You are a fine American and a fine patriot. People born here could be half as patriotic as you.
Right.
For real. And we're so lucky to have you here.
Well, thank you.
And the difference between being a naturalized citizen and a natural born citizen is natural born relies on natural law where there is no intervention necessary from the government. It's just you are. and it's a three-legged stool. You are born here, and you have 2 citizen parents at the time of your birth, and that's a natural born citizen.
Right.
Right.
Right. I
Which
know my
Obama
dad.
did not have. His dad was never a citizen.
Hmm.
He could have been born in the Lincoln bedroom of the White House and still not been Article 2 eligible.
Oh, wow.
Well, things will be interesting.
Mhm.
If
Well,
that
let's
can-
shore up our borders so that we have more people like you in here with citizenship and driver's licenses and voter IDs instead of the other way
Amen.
around.
Right.
Amen. to
That's
that.
why, you know, I can remember when Pam and 412 first started on the call-in show, and I think I was on there the first day it aired because I had already been on Discord, and I said, I'm going to go on there. And my heart was beating so fast. I was like, man, I'm going to do this anyway. I don't care. But they were talking about the immigration back then, you know, and I got on my soapbox. I told them.
Well, we're
Told
so
them my
glad you
story.
did.
Yep. Yep.
And there's so many stories of great patriots like yourself that are naturalized citizens. You know, TN Homesteader. I don't know if
Oh,
everybody out there
yeah.
knows
He's,
TN.
yes. He
But,
did the same thing, too.
you know, his family's actually from Argentina.
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 Mhm.
And you guys may know him from PSB and 412's channel WTPI, We the People Insider. His name's TN Homesteader, and he is our local decoder. He's the numbers man and the angles guy and the photo analyzer. He's everything. The guy sees the matrix. So TN, if you're out there listening, props to you. A big salute from me personally.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
I call him the Sassy Q Brain Scrambler.
Right? You gotta scramble up your brain.
I know, huh? Oh, that hurt.
Is it bake your noodle?
Right. It
Yeah,
makes
he bakes your noodle.
I had the honor and privilege to meet TN Homesteader at our Indiana meetup, Patriot meetup, and it was so cool to meet him. Wow, what an honor.
Yes.
So.
And speaking of meetups, let me do a shameless plug here. But some of you out there may know that I am the one that created the WWG1 WGA Patriot Gatherings USA server on Discord. Because we are not live, which you're going to help us get there, I can't drop a link for you right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let you know to go to Discord and find us. Like I said, it's WWG1 WGA Patriot Gatherings USA server. It is split up by all 50 states. So you can get in there. It drops you on a general board. You can say hey to everybody, and a bot's going to greet you in some funky way. Post a couple times, and that's going to make you red. Once you turn red, you'll be able to see all the other channels. Go in there, the channel for your specific state. Have fun, be kind, and unite. And Lady was able to meet TN because of an event that was actually planned on that board.
You just never know who's going to be there, you know? And TN came from Tennessee, obviously. TN, hello.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And then we had, what is it, Sunshine and Roses, who came from Oklahoma.
We love Sunshine and Roses. She's probably
Yep,
watching
Sunshine
this
and
at some
Roses.
point
Hi,
in time.
Sunshine and Roses.
Hello, Sunshine and Roses.
And the Kath. I got to meet the Kath. Got to hug her. So it was just so cool. So cool. Sassy Q would know about that. She's been to two of them, right?
Yeah, I got to meet Fortunate Patriot at one.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Lucky.
Oh, I was the lucky one.
Oh.
Pshaw.
Yeah, that was great. I got to live stream to you guys back here in the Zoom room from there. You got a nice backdoor view of everything. It was really cool.
Yes,
and I couldn't believe it worked technologically. But I was right back there with Thumper and Dead Cat behind the table. You remember Sassy? Squeeze. Believe me, if there was one person who had the least workspace, it was me.
Oh, yeah, he was crammed in there pretty good.
I had the laptop on a windowsill, you guys, and I had the
Oh
camera
my
on the
goodness.
top of a wooden carved bear statue's head, looking over the rest of the room. And the reason the laptop was on the windowsill was because I had to be close enough to the bear for my cables to reach my computer. So thank God for Shmuel. Shmuel, I know you're out there. You guys don't know Shmuel. He's not on our channels, but he is in the background listening. He is my best friend in the world that is not my wife. And he was a huge help that weekend and so much fun.
I know Shmuel. He's awesome.
Nice. Got to meet Shmuel in the back office here, you know, and yeah, really nice guy.
Yeah, he is my best bud, and he's got my six all the time. So he will be joining me on the August 17th event, just to let you all know. I haven't really been spilling what event it was going to be that I'm covering, because it can put you in a situation where people preemptively will try and stop you or somehow prevent the gears from working with lots of oil. I am going to be attending an anti-Antifa rally. It's being put on by Joe Biggs. Obviously, there's going to be Proud Boys there and other quote-unquote organizations of, you know, different views. We are simply going to document it. We are going to be the man on the street journalists. We all have our opinions. We all say our piece, but we are not getting in there to get into the fray. We are there to document what happens. Part of the reason I'm doing this is because I believe that when you shine light on something, sunlight is the best disinfectant. And when we can be the camera view, essentially the beacon that shines the light on the actions of these people, then we can show the dichotomy between what they say they are and what they actually are in real life. So I'm lucky enough that Sassy is going to join me, and I'm going to have a few other Patriots, including Shmuel, with me, so I'm going to feel nice and safe. And we're going to get some great footage and bring you guys a feature from that event. No matter how it goes, I might even do some man on the street interviews with some Patriots, and maybe even if some people want to have the discourse, some helmeted, gloved up, covered faces individuals from the land of Antifa. I highly doubt that will happen because most likely they will not want to be in front of my camera. But you never know. If we don't leave the conversation open and welcome them with open arms, how are we ever going to red pill those that don't know?
That's right. Cowards. Oh, excuse me.
Yep, I feel you right there. Yep.
And we're going to be cautious, not contentious.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I thought that was really a key phrase right there, for sure. You know.
Well,
But,
and everybody deserves a chance, regardless. Just a chance, though. We're not going to leave anything to chance.
Right. Like I said, we're not going to stop loving them. We're just not going to let them beat on us.
Right.
We will stand our ground because we're people too. And this type of rhetoric and this type of method will not be tolerated in a free society, folks. Violence and anger, destruction of property, it is so counterproductive to the bottom line. And if you have somebody in your circle that disagrees with what I just said, carefully watch them because they're going to get themselves in trouble. And also carefully watch them for the opportunity to change their hearts. We can do it. I truly believe that. I think love conquers all.
Amen.
Well, I'm a mama and a grandmama, and I got news for you. My grandchildren are the Generation X, and let me catch one of them doing crap like that, I will snatch their face coverings and their helmets and anything else they think they're covering themselves up with, and whatever so-called weapons they think they've got, their nana will beat their behinds with. Just saying.
Like the Baltimore mama that caught her son out there
Straight up. You're right.
Tiny.
Yes, ma'am. They better know, they better keep it covered up and not let Nana catch them because Nana will make firm believers. They were raised better. They better have enough sense to know better.
Yeah. Well, and there are parents out there that have tried as hard as they could try, and society has still turned their kids to this.
Yeah, and I understand that as well. But and that's why they cover, because
Mhm.
they know, cowards.
Yeah, my father was a police officer for many, many, many years, retired now, and incredible respect for this man. He adopted my brother and I, and he changed our life when he married my mom. But if I just imagine, like, if I dressed up in all black and I was getting ready to go out, or I ever said anything cross to my father, all he would have to do really is now. And when I was a kid, I was an a-hole, so it might have been different then. But he'd look at me and he'd be like, "What are you doing? You are so dumb. You better kick your own ass right now. Just go ahead and kick your own ass." Because that's what I'd really get out of it. I mean, we have to be able to stand up to these people and let them know how stupid their not only their rhetoric, their fight, their need for violence. Like I said in my essay, these people are weak when not in numbers. And these people are ineffective with their words.
Right.
That to me speaks to their intelligence, and whether or not the public, all of you people out there, the mainstream media, and everyone around the world, how we should be viewing these people. Because if there's that much of a lack of intelligence, why would you be a lemming and follow their narrative?
Right. Well, my dad believed in time travel. Next week, but he never raised a hand to me. All it took was the threat.
My mom, my mother, all she would have to do is look at me or not talk to me. It's funny how a mother's silence is more effective than any verbal lashing that you could ever get from your parents.
Oh, my son would agree.
Man.
He's just quit staring at me.
My mom would just, I wouldn't exist for a little bit. You know what I mean? Just, you cease to exist. Like a Jedi mind trick. These are not the droids you are looking for.
Right.
Like, you have officially peed me off. My mom used to count backwards from 10 so that she wouldn't kill me. I truly believe it was just a buffer so that she wouldn't literally kill me, okay? And it was always real quick and angry, too, like, 298765432. Like the demon come out. But I knew my mom was serious. She'd say all three of my names, and she'd count back from 10.
Right.
And I was probably out of the room long before she ever got to 10 because I knew I was in trouble. But I also had a respect for my parents that they instilled in me. They'd never let me be a victim, and they were not going to be a victim of me. So often now, I think parents are really victims of their children because they give them whatever they want. They make it so easy for the kid to just rule the roost. And in my personal opinion, that's a detriment to them when they get into the older ages and they don't feel like they feel entitled to have everything, yet feel part of nothing. And they end up in groups like Antifa.
Right. Well,
exactly.
There are still kids that their parents have tried everything that they can do and raise them right, have one perfect child and then one that goes crazy. And what can you do? Society will drag them away sometimes, no matter how hard you tried to raise them right.
That is true. So then we fight in the indoctrination. We fight the narrative. We fight these liberal colleges and sanctuary cities that make it too easy for these kids to fall into this social subset that allows this.
Right.
I'm preaching a little bit today. Wow, I feel like I'm getting on my soapbox.
Preach it, brother.
No, but yeah, what you were saying, it kind of reminds me of a place that I had lived at before I, back in 2016 and 2017, I had a family there live with me, and I mean, the girls who were born 18 months apart, I mean, they would run roughshod over the parents, but then again, even the parents were no good because they would let the kids run roughshod over them.
Well, that's part of the generational plan. I mean, they weren't on a 4-year plan, they were on a 16-year plan. And how long has that 16-year plan been the end of a plan that they already had in the mix? It just keeps rolling. They were passing it off to the next guy to keep the ball going, but no longer, right? We stand up, we fight this. We will not be duped and fooled.
Yep.
Well, you guys, we are running into the timeline here. We have been at this conversation for quite some time, and I'm telling you, this is so much fun. It's like every Redwire radio is getting better and better. Do you guys think so as well?
Oh, yeah.
My goodness. Oh my goodness, yes. Yes.
Well, it's all because of you guys, and it's all because of you listeners out there that we never get to talk to and see during the show, but that's okay. We know you're there. We feel your love. We hope you feel ours as well, and I have to personally say thank you to everyone here in this room who did join me. Sassy, it was great to have you here for the first time. I hope it's definitely not the last time.
Oh, anytime.
I know our show's pretty loose and it's a different kind of format, but I think you get the gist of what we're trying to do here, and I think you fit right in.
Well, thank you, Fortunate. I feel comfortable being here.
Well, formally, let me tell you, welcome. I think everybody will agree.
Absolutely.
Well, let's try and wrap this up then. Does anybody have anything that they absolutely must get out of the cranium there for our listeners and for ourselves?
Well, Fortunate, to piggyback on what you said, I mean, okay, even though we cannot see the chat on YouTube, right underneath the video, there's a comment section.
Oh, good point. Thank you. Yes, that comment section would be awesome, guys. We would love any feedback that you can give. We look to see, how many people viewed it, how long has it been up. We know that this is because it's pre-recorded. There's no such thing as a fresh episode. Pardon me. But we try and keep the topics on point, at least to where a few days later it doesn't really hurt your nerves to listen to. But we would really love a little bit of feedback, and do share with all of your friends and family. Share on your Twitter and in other social media, so we can get more people in here so that we can do these live shows. I think that's really the big next step, is getting live out here with you guys so we can see you in real time. We see you guys all on PSB and LSR and other channels. We want you to join us here in our home too. This is just yet another tiny little room on the big giant platform of life. We're sharing the same information and sharing it on a different platform so we can spread it to the world. The more fingers we have spread out there, the better this message will travel. So please do your part. Don't forget the notification bell. Don't forget that subscribe button. Have I done enough commercials?
Turn that thumbs up blue.
Exactly.
And as Dead Cat would say, yeah, won't you make my gray thumb blue?
Oh my God.
Yeah, because turning that thumb blue will help get the channel out into the stream so people can find you.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. And we definitely need that, you guys. This is a small, tiny little thing, but I think we're steamrolling pretty good. I think we're steamrolling.
We are.
So, well, anybody else got anything they want to roll out before I get into the outro here?
I just want to say thank you, Fortunate. I love being on Redwire Radio, and thank you so much for what you bring. So, and God bless.
Thank you. The honor is definitely mine. You guys, you know that. I feel like you do this for me, so, and we do it for the world. So.
Well, and I'm honored being in the foxhole with you, Fortunate.
Foxhole. I like that. Fortunate Foxhole. All right. I think we have our new Choppa name. I was debating. I was like, are we in the Hummer? Where are we? No, we're in the Foxhole. I love it. I love it. Redwire. We're cranking the Redwire radio from the Foxhole. There we go.
There you go.
I love it.
And
Sassy, you're awesome.
to steal another phrase from the late great Andrew Breitbart, you know, if you're not in the fight because you don't support anyone, more than shame on you. You're on the other side.
That's right. Inaction helps nobody. So do something. Do it.
Write a letter, call a congressman. It all works together to help.
That's right. Engage in this fight, this movement, the Great Awakening.
The Great Awakening. Well, I love being woke back here with you folk.
No, geez.
Hey, Rick, you got to get used to it, brother. I like to rap, I like to rhyme, I like to sing. So you guys know, you never know when I might drop something on you, right, lady?
That's right.
Lady and Magic have been subject to my freestyle before, so
Oh yeah.
be forewarned,
we love
people
it.
out there.
We love it. We love it.
Well, I love doing it, and you guys are so much fun. So, yet again, thank you so much. And this is another episode of our Redwire Radio. You know what I think we'll call this? Since we got to talk about my pop today. My pop's from Long Island, New York. Pop, if you're listening, this is for you. Since we started this off with Antifa, I'm going to title this episode Antifa, Get About It. Okay?
Nice.
Love it.
There you go. That's from my pop. My pop just had his birthday, so happy birthday, Pop. And we love you, and thank you so much for your service as a civil servant in our country, especially on a border town that you dealt with a lot of crazy stuff. So mad props to you, Pop. You are one of my absolute heroes.
Happy birthday, Mr. Fortunate.
Happy birthday.
All
Happy
right.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Okay. Well, thank you again. Let's roll this outro out. Until next time, folks, don't forget to be kind, have fun, keep your compassion in check. Make sure you're sitting there with open arms for those who may become awake. If everyone can mute up.